Welcome back to the Barclaycard Arena in Hamburg, where Fnatic have a chance to end the series right here with a win in Game 3. Misfits backs against the wall as we enter our final pick ban, or get ready to, and they once again have chosen red side. Huge sign of confidence, potentially.
I mean, it obviously will be a game with different bans.
On one side.
On one side. Obviously, the other side is pretty easy to predict on the side of Fnatic, but if you are Misfits, I actually think all three of your bans can technically be changed. Yeah. You don't have to change all of them, but like Aurelion Sol is a pick that worked really well against G2. Maybe Misfits have practiced against it and actually have an answer to it, so they can maybe leave it open. I would just keep it banned for safety, though.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of banning out comfort picks in the series, though, even though technically you did nothing wrong. Forcing a player on a different champion in Game 3 is obviously going to come at a performance cost. This guy is completely warmed up on the likes of, say, Ivern and Gragas. Why don't you just get rid of both? Or pick him early, Misfits. You have the chance.
I mean, just get rid of Ivern, look to early pick the Gragas. And this is what I said before with Aurelion Sol. Keep it banned just because it is such an annoying champion to play against. It kind of changes the entire game. But I think here's where you can leave Twitch open. Get rid of Gragas, Shen, and then Reckless needs to decide if he wants to play Twitch or Kennen anyway. And you might actually not even see the Twitch in the first place.
Yeah. Definitely need to experiment. You need to at least find out what would have happened if we did something else. If you're Misfits Fnatic, they're obviously going for the same set of bans 3 times in a row right now. If they lock in the Orianna, the suspense is there.
I know, we're waiting. What will it be? The big question, of course, is what Misfits' final ban will be. Will it be the Gragas
or the Ivern? It's one of the two that we're looking at as a last ban here for Misfits. Now, Ivern into an early pick Gragas for Alphari makes a lot of sense if you are the Misfits. That's the Ivern ban, so we got that one. Broxah now, sadly for him, can play his other comfort pick, Lee Sin.
Yeah, they can trade. So coming into the series, we would expect Lee Sin and Elise to be both open, both being willingly traded, and another champion, strong pick like Kennen, for example, like Syndra maybe even being locked in early for Fnatic.
And I think actually now, if you are Misfits, going something like Gragas plus, or actually you can even potentially ban the Gragas next time if you want to, but otherwise you can take Gragas here and then you can take your preferred jungler of Lee Sin or Elise, get a ganking jungler for Kakao where he can really try and snowball the early game. A champion where he's a bit more comfortable as well, and then save that last pick potentially for Power Vivo in the first phase.
Yeah, and you have to get rid of, you have to pick your jungler here because you don't want to be in a position where you get surprised and you have to match your jungler on the 3rd rotation, so you can't be flexible in pick and ban here for Misfits.
Good. We got one of them here if he locks in this Lee Sin. I think this is smart.
Yeah.
Now, Elise obviously is a very good pick for Broxah as well. A jungler where he can really gank early, offer CC and burst on his own. So it's very much comfort for Fnatic at the moment. They can still take like Elise LeBlanc here, and then it's up to Power Vivo if he wants another like Lulu mid lane against the LeBlanc.
And for Kakao, Lee Sin has been the crux, even for Misfits, as they've been able to find so many aggressive plays with him on this Lee Sin. Broxah is fighting back, as predicted, with an Elise for himself.
Should just see the LeBlanc again for Caps.
Yeah.
Worked just fine in the last one.
It's much harder to get banned out. I wouldn't even mind seeing Fnatic pick Gragas here and have Caps dig a little deeper into his champion pool in the second phase.
I think if you go Camille now, you just, again, you don't ban away like things like Fizz Renekton straight away. Like, get rid of tanks.
Yeah.
Put Soaz on a carry. Challenge Soaz to play against Alphari and Kakao up in that top lane.
The one caveat, though, is Renekton Elise as a combo.
It is scary, I definitely agree. So maybe you just remove Renekton plus Gragas and you leave the Fizz open. Like, Fizz's early game is not that dangerous against Camille. You can definitely lane against that. Misfits do opt into the bot lane with Caitlyn. Last time Fnatic got to ban away a lot of these AD carries, not this time.
And the last time we saw the Caitlyn Lulu lane come out for Misfits, it was against the Unicorns, and it was not nearly as successful as they wanted or needed it to be. That was one of those lanes where they went even, despite having a winning matchup in their favor.
With the Caitlyn Lulu being such a strong pick here, maybe it's worth for Fnatic to just waste one ban on the Rise. Because they no longer have to go for double AD carry bans as they usually had to, because obviously Caitlyn's already locked in. So they have the liberty to maybe say, you can't flex the Lulu, you need to keep it mid lane.
Okay.
And then when Misfits are banning out these other range supports, they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot.
Support ban from Fnatic as well. Like, this is where, again, putting Lulu mid just means that support pick for Ignore gets so much value, because it also will be a takeaway from Jesse. So if you do take just Karma for Misfits, you run a pure shielding comp with a Caitlyn as your late game monster, you basically prevent Elise and LeBlanc from killing anything in a team fight, and you deny that Karma away from Jessus as well. So there's a lot of supports being removed at the moment.
That's also another support being removed here to Camille. They don't want to get hard engaged early and getting snowballed down, so it does seem like Misfits playing a much more late game focused style, a hyper carry protection comp.
Yeah, I think it's either like Gragas coming in early from them to deny it, or it is just like take a Karma and then last pick for Alfari up in the top lane and see if you can give him a winning matchup as well. Even more support bans.
Now saving kind of those last few picks to set Alfari up, to set power up potentially for success, unless we see that Lulu flexed into the mid lane. They do offer the Gragas here. That was a pick that Alfari found success on. Once again, something that can make plays in the hands of this man in the top lane is always a good thing for the side of Misfits.
And you take it away from Soaz. I feel like that is the main thing, main reason you want to pick this. It's not because Alfari is a fantastic tank player, it's just to deny it from a guy who is a fantastic tank player, which is Soaz.
There is still the adaptation for Fnatic to say, you know what, you get the Ken in top lane, and we're just going to play a standard AD carry in the bottom lane.
See, any other team, I would be like, yes.
I mean, they could surprise us by doing that, because Fnatic has gone so deep into this Ken and AD carry, it's totally unexpected for them to do it right now, which would then fit their pattern of doing the unexpected.
Very true. There's also the situation where Source just goes Nautilus, and he's like, guys, I'm just going to play tanks. It's what's working for me right now. I think this takeaway is good for Fnatic with the Karma, because he could have been very strong on the side of Misfits. And I wonder if we just get Nautilus here for Source, or if he will, spice it up.
See what the option will be.
Finley's like, okay, I give you a lot of liberty, but I'm not talking about Master Yi. It's not happening.
No, I swear you stuttered, says Joseph. You said Master Yi. I swear I heard it. Yeah.
No, even Reckless is shaking his head.
Guys, this is too far. Too far.
Guys. Okay, all right, there we go. Back to the top lane. All right, Hamburg, let's get it together. Let's calm down just a little bit. Gnar up against the Gragas, though. Now, this is not necessarily the traditional tank pick that we've seen be successful in the hands of Soaz.
Yeah, some tankiness, obviously, from him on Gnar, but much harder to execute than a Gragas, in my opinion. Puts a lot more now on Soaz and his individual ability.
Oh.
Nami counter to Karma.
Yeah. This is interesting, because when I look at this team, gentlemen, now assembled on the side of Misfits with this Nami lock in, I see one source of damage as we move later in the game, and that is Hans Sama, and they're putting it all on this man in Game 3.
Yeah, but they can definitely be catered towards. He can be kept alive, and he can perform in these team fights. The problem is will Fnatic just solo with their early game pick-centered style, which actually reaps them a lot of benefits usually when they play it.
Yeah, last game was 26 minutes, so it definitely worked for Fnatic in that one. Misfits here, definitely been watching LCK earlier today, because Game 3 was so close to this draft, also with early Lulu that got put into mid, and then your last pick Karma with the Nami down in the bottom lane to try and get really strong lane matchups like Kate Nami, fantastic 2v2 lane. Lulu we know is going to be safe and fine and even fairly strong in the mid lane. I like the lane setups this time, and I like Kakao on Lee Sin.
Yeah, definitely a really big counter matchup in the bottom. Caitlyn outranges Cannon, has better trades. We have the potential setup of Bubble being comboed with the traps conditionally. We have the sustain, which beats the poke from Nami, and also the slows to really keep the Caitlyn at range. You know, it's a really great laning matchup, so much harder for Fnatic to fight their way out.
As you get ready for the game, we talk about a single damage source, but Power Evil's been the one to mix that up. The Nashor's Tooth on the Lulu. Maybe
Misfits will damage source.
It wasn't in that game because he didn't auto-attack Deficio.
Yeah,
the one thing, though, that could change it all is Fnatic have played weaker matches before, and then Broxah just spam ganked bot lane, and Nami is quite susceptible to repetitive ganks, because if she loses her flash, she obviously has no gap closing ability.
Definitely a tough spot once again. This is Misfits backed into a corner. They're putting all their eggs in the Hans Sama basket this time around. They have to survive. They have to hold through if they want to make it through it. But Karma and the rest of the Fnatic lineup, they got everything that they want. They get to play the style that they love to play, and Misfits feels like their ultimate challenge. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. It's Game 3. If you are a Fnatic fan, you want to see it end here. And if you believe in the Misfits, you want to see the reverse sweep. You want to see Fnatic go out just like Splice here in the third place match.
So very, very interesting pick and ban phase from Misfits. Good adaptations. I like the fact they didn't waste bans on, again, some of these top laners like Renekton that we don't really see a whole lot from Fnatic. Gnar coming in for Source, though, again, it's tricky. Like, Gragas is such a strong laner, and Gnar will obviously take over the late game split push once you get like a Black Cleaver on him. But getting there will take time.
Yeah.
And Broxah can look to go mid and bot lane more than top.
For now.
Great point, Deficio.
Everyone agrees with the point. They're cheering.
They're literally standing up for you.
They're taking turns standing up to Fischio. They don't want to overwhelm you.
They're doing the wave, though, around in the arena.
Well, we see a very calm level 1, despite all of the changes, or all the aggressive starts that we've seen so far in the series. Hamburg is ready.
Kind of want to get the camera on this, but we're watching Broxah do Raptors.
Are more exciting than a wave.
This is the first time in the series that Broxah has gotten his Raptors. I'm excited about that too.
Will it cost him the game? Maybe that was the answer for Fnatic. No Raptors level 1 for Broxah.
Fnatic, when taking Raptors, 0-1. Here we see Hansama and Ignar using the range advantage and the fact that they have AoE clear on the AD carry, stepping forward.
Ignar taking a lot of poke, though.
Yeah, you want to stay near dying creeps. Ignar's actually really far up here. This is going to be not so great of a trade.
Glad to see the crowd enjoying the level 1 trades as well, down in the bottom lane, just like you, Crepo.
That's me right now. Like, whenever I see this at home, I'm just,
way. We're, of course, in a city that is very famous for football.
And fish.
And fish, yeah.
Fish market. Tribute to the Nami, that's why they're doing the wave.
Smart. It makes a lot of sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
They really understand the current flow here. It looks beautiful, though, in this arena. While we see some trading top lane, that's not too exciting.
They like the trading top lane as well. The crowd.
It's a positive group of people.
Yep. I see trades, I wave.
Well, Hansama wants to get some trades down himself. Fnatic says no to the trades. We're still fans of that, though.
Well, Fnatic says, damn, we just got counterpicked bot lane completely.
Oh, this is a rough match. If you stay marginally ahead in terms of the push, you bully them on every single attempt for CS. And then you bully them even more in the turret, because you can place 2 traps down in the turret, and then you funnel them into an area where they just get the poke, the living crap out of them. It's not very pleasant.
Now, last game here, Hansama got 3 kills on Lucian. It actually looked like he could really start doing something in the game, but then everything went wrong for Misfits. This is the game where he needs to carry. He needs to pull some reckless numbers for Misfits to win.
Well, he's set up now to play super aggressive. A lot of vision placed on the bottom side by Misfits to ensure that they can keep pushing forward.
Yeah, that's the fun part. If you push super slow early on, you can save both wards and eliminate any gank attempt from Broxah. Look at Ignar. He wants to get rid of the blast cone right now because he knows Broxah could always show up in that bottom lane. Now the Misfits, they want to find Broxah.
Hoping to catch him out, hoping to spot him out, but the jungle path going to be greatly different this time around. Kakao didn't get interrupted. Kakao did not get to shut him down in the early lane, early game. So now they got to keep moving forward.
I feel like the crowd's just waiting for that first blood. Before it happens, they will keep doing the wave.
What was it, 28 minutes? Is that our record?
We had a 29 minutes, yes?
29.
29. That's going to be some tired people in here all of a sudden.
Broxah, though, now set up on the bottom side of the map. The wards are going to start dying out here shortly for the side of Misfits, and they're going to have to respect the potential for Elise to come roaming in. But Kakao also moving into the jungle here, maybe hoping to spot out Broxah.
Kakao is not spotted, but let's see what can Broxah do. Rex is going in, he's giving it away. Ignar needs to flash.
Ignite, auto attacks going down, moving, looking for just a little bit more. Ignar does go down. That's first blood for Reckless. Broxah dishing out some damage in return, but the crowd is electric as a kill drops for Fnatic.
Yeah, and that was a 2v2 first blood. Yes, the jungler was there to obviously force Ignar to play more passive, but he took so much damage even before the flash. Kakao is here to try and help Hansama actually push his wave, or at least get the wave. So if you lose this as a Caitlyn, you can wave goodbye to basically the next 25 minutes, because your mid game is so bad anyway, like you can never afford falling behind.
Yeah, it's a lot of waves.
Hansama doing his best to keep this up, though.
I want to see what happened, though. How did Ignar end up in a position where he was so overextended? I think it was just a very late flash as well, and he's playing against an Ignite lane. The problem with this matchup is supports have it put it into their brain when it was exhaust meta, when you used to play Nami to Karma. But the extra Ignite taking in, reducing both the summoner heal and your own heal, really puts you at a much lower threshold where you can just die.
Yeah, it is definitely easier now to all in the bot lane. Also with the longer TP that obviously happened quite a while ago, you can definitely play more aggressive, and we actually see that quite a lot with all these mage supports. People are going for more kills. It also fits Jessis and Reckless. Like these 2 guys, especially Jessis, he was very early on saying, we are the best bot lane in Europe. Now, a lot of people obviously were like, Sven and Methi, anyone? But they've always been very confident in 2v2 laning, and we see it here.
Yeah, I think this is where you just flash it if you're Ignar, because you know when the camera starts spinning, you're about to die. It's the final Q from Reckless that connects and just gets a stun off. And you know Reckless will never go in aggressive like that unless the jungler's nearby. So that's that point, at which point you need to go for the respect flash.
And instantly now, Fnatic set up a ton of vision on bottom side, making it almost impossible for Kakao to actually set up a gank down here. Kakao needs his level 6, and then he needs to be a playmaker.
And we talked about this, the bottom side, the Nami, so vulnerable when she doesn't have the flash. Not only did Ignar lose the flash, he lost his life, and that is not at all what Misfits can afford to do in the early game when they're against a team that's set up to snowball so hard.
So you have to remember top lane as well, Soas with this Gnar pick here, he will completely take over the side lane push, and Alfari needs to then look for teleports. Like, Alfari needs to be able to leave his lane, join his team, and that has been the biggest weakness of Alfari all split long, is when he had to be the proactive engage.
But he just had a teacher. Soas taught him 2 games in a row how to do it, so all he needs to do is just remember.
Remember, what does Soas do? Okay, get home guards, TP in behind the AD carry, set up the engage. Let's see if it works. Brox has found his way to the bottom lane.
The classic lane gank. AD carry walks back in lane to place his control ward. I wonder why he no longer has that control ward in his inventory. Who could show up in this lane?
This guy we haven't seen on the map for quite a while. Obviously not a lot of wards from Misfits either. He can't sneak into the second one. He will get spotted by the melee minions.
That's fine. Ignar's just going to walk up and get Cocoon here.
Oh,
also, they stopped contesting the push. Reckless and Jezzy, suddenly they play super meek and passive. They're even eating auto attacks. So
I think
at this point, I think the Misfits know.
Ignar. Oh, no! That's forward! No! That's not what they needed. Misfits, they're falling apart. Not even setting their sights on Ignar. They're getting him.
They did not know.
Well, no flash from Ignar. He tried to stay so far back, and Brox had flash Cocoon and said, man, he's dead. That's bot lane tower. Now, set up to fall. Actually, no, because Misfits are here with Power of Evil as well. He's giving up mid lane pressure.
Yeah, no teleport, but he just takes the long scenic tour of Summoner's Rift. Obviously, you assume that the jungler would have flashed on that previous gank because that's why you died, but they just died pure 2v2, so...
Of course.
Broxa kept this flash, and Ignar, 2 really avoidable deaths.
And the confidence coming in from Broxa in this series. 2 games on the Ivern, setting his team up for success despite Kakao trying to shut him down. Now returning to the bottom lane, punishing Ignar for early mistakes. This man is setting Fnatic up so well for success.
And I think we also have to praise Caps coming in here for Fnatic. A lot of pressure on him, but he's still performing in this LeBlanc versus Lulu matchup.
They've been winning both lanes. A lot of pressure early. No kill pressure for Power of Evil in return with the cleanse. That is a problem for him.
Cleanse Negatron.
Yeah, so he's going like extremely defensive build, and I think this is fine if your bot lane is getting ahead. I think this is good if your AD carry is really going to be strong also coming into the mid game, because then you buff him up and he's going to be the big carry. Your AD carry in the mid game is Caitlyn. She wants to get 3 items.
Yeah.
She's not winning her laning phase right now, so the very defensive Lulu, who's going to set up Hansama to carry, that's going to be tricky.
And this may be delving too deep into like bot lane specifics, but the reason this matchup is so brutal is because when Caitlyn bases, she can invest purely in AD with that BF sword. She also starts at Dorns versus the long sword from Kennen. So if you play it well, you base, you get a BF sword, the enemy Kennen is sitting on a cutlass. That's it. Or boots too. And then you can just abuse the matchup to the extreme point where you then get the dent in the turret. The problem is those 2 early deaths have given Reckless so much gold with 2 kills that he's now has parity in dueling strength. And it makes it so much easier for Fnatic to play.
Yeah, and he has sustain.
Exactly. Helps match the sustain of the Nami, exactly what they want here. But Caps playing with his food a little bit in the mid lane. Already a sizable lead in CS for LeBlanc in the early game, and it feels like everything is working out exactly the way Fnatic needed to.
Yeah, and obviously we didn't really mention why Power of Evil is running Cleanse in this matchup. It's because of Elise this time around. Like, he needs to respect the potential camp around the mid lane. LeBlanc is one of the best mages at setting up jungle ganks, and Elise obviously is one of the best early game junglers.
Brox doesn't care.
No, Brox is like, well, fine, I just don't go mid, I just go bot lane anyway.
Yeah, my name is Broxa, I play ganking jungler for Fnatic. I'm going to go bot lane.
So it's kind of really sucky here for Power of Evil because he actually needs to run the cleanse against so much CC early game, but he's just not the target. He's baiting now, he's trying to bait. He's trying to bait like Caps, distortions into him, then Lulu just knocks, you know, herself up with the ulti, and then suddenly Kakao can gank. But Caps is playing this really well.
No distortion in, but Reckless is going to leap forward. They're looking to lock him down. The Ignite's coming out. Hansama, can he get anything back? He's standing right in the circle. The damage comes out, though. Reckless is alive and well. He's running for his life. The auto! The shutdown for Ignar, but Jezzy, he wants to get one back. Running forward. In goes the snare. Out comes the heal. And away walks Ignar.
And it's a sustain from the Cutlass that keeps him alive long enough. Alfari fail flash, actually.
Fight continues on the top side, but Soaz is just fine. Explosion of action all across the map.
Caps is spotted on a ward here, but he's on the way top to see if he can deny something from Alfari up here. Gets nothing other than a ward. Small win. Vision is also a win.
Vision is always important. The trigger for that bot lane fight was actually the junglers both showing in the mid lane. Reckless and Jesus immediately pulled the trigger. But yeah, the later these fights go, the more valuable this exhaust gets against the cannon. You also saw the power of a bubble if it connects. Very close to winning that trade on the side of the Misfits.
Fnatic have to be careful now too. Hansama very close to having his flash back up, Ignar as well, and the Summoner spell's very far away from the side of Fnatic. Maybe we'll see Kakao shift his attention over to that bottom side, give them a bit of a helping hand on the bottom side of the map, set that Caitlyn up so she can get out of that mid game as fast as possible.
He's mid lane again because they're trying to bait Caps into again taking this trade where he can then get whimsied or knocked up and then they can gank him, kill him, but there's still flash available on LeBlanc. And Caps, as you can see, whenever Kakao's been missing or has been seen recently near the mid lane, Caps here just sits back. He doesn't go for anything. He literally just stays and wave clears. And this means Kakao is actually wasting a lot of time. And you can see the deep balls from Fnatic will just always spot the jungler.
And that's like the difference between stage and scrims. In stage, maybe Caps will play even more aggressive. We see the trade here again. It's wave into bubble. Timed pretty well here. Maximizing CC uptime, so I don't think Misfits could have done much more here to outplay that scenario. They're just too far behind, and the sustain from the Cutlass that we talked about earlier allowed Reckless to really survive in that fight.
Getting a shot down is really good. Sadly, it's on Ignar, but obviously Ignar struggled with the first 2 kills here. I do want to praise him for that one. Like, really good setup. Ulti, exhaust into his bubble, did everything he was supposed to do. And obviously made sure it's 1-for-1 at least, despite being behind in the lane. But Source is going to be super annoying up top lane. Black Cleaver soon completed.
We can see, guys, that Fnatic are in control of the game. There's no question there. They've been doing well. Misfits kind of struggling to get anything back. But if they stall long enough, if they hold on, can they just win? Waiting for this Caitlyn to scale up, waiting to get this pick up and rolling.
Definitely.
If you get late enough, yes.
But then we're talking 35+ minutes into the game.
Yeah.
You're going to bleed a lot of side lane turrets. It's at that point where the base becomes like your perimeter, and Caitlyn can fight their way out with a trap line, you know, with the Runons. Legit 1v9ing fights. The problem is Fnatic, they still have so many objectives worth to take. If one domino falls for the Misfits, a lot of these side lane turrets are going to fall off. And Broxa, with his Moby Elise, has been known to really find these openings.
Yeah, that's why obviously also when you see Caitlyn picked, it's not picked to say, oh, okay, let's not do anything for like 30 minutes and then just go full late game. It's picked as a lane fully. It's picked to get a lot of extra gold in the game itself because you can get all these towers down. Yes, you might trade some of them, but if you have a game with ton of kills, ton of towers, a lot of gold flying around, then you will hit 3 items fairly quickly on this Caitlyn, and then you can buffer up very early on. We don't have to wait for the 40-minute mark. These games now where you lose lane as Caitlyn, you never get to hit a tower, and you never really get to find any gold or any value for your team.
Yeah, you're victim to your opposition's pacing, but at least the Misfits, they find an early objective that could maybe later get there in Asher, you know, that Mountain Drake. Pretty important. It's up to Fnatic right now to snowball. They're running a pick comp, which generally gets outscaled. Obviously, in group scenarios, they're not as strong, so they need to keep the map open. And this guy right here, Caps, he'll have to clear out the vision on the brushes next to his lane, go back, push it out, and then start roaming to the top side. He can assist Soas in the push. He can assist Reckless in the push. There's so much he could do on the map.
And Soas is such a huge threat to this top lane tower. He may not even need help. It's just a matter of time because he has the buff from the Rift Herald. He has the advantage here, and there's just not a lot that Gragas can do to stop him from auto-attacking the tower. But now I got Nami moving into the mid lane. Caps potentially going to back off here. Tidal Waves connects on the Caps.
Nice
and they get the follow-up. CC locks down Kakao. He goes in. He gets it anyway. Now moving forward. Broxa running for his life. Glitterlands connects. Broxa up. Broxa down. Is going to be able to walk away from this one, but that's a start for Misfits.
A really good setup here. They've been trying to bait a gank here in the mid lane so often. They had to add their Nami as well.
Soas in trouble. And Mini Gnar. Alfari looking to turn this one back, but the Hyper going to make it pretty easy to walk away. Alfari just going to have to back off in the end. Reckless now exhausted. Kakao is here as well, but here comes Hansama. Ignar running for his life, but he just gets taken down.
And a great play by Ignar in the mid lane, really surprising Caps with the wave bubble combination. Now gets nullified because he takes the greedy path down in the bottom lane, obviously not respecting where Broxa could be.
So first tower now falling in favor of Fnatic. They managed to win this lane here through a lot of ganks from multiple members, but also winning 2v2. We got to give them that credit, Reckless and Jesus. Mid lane, we got the gank coming in from Misfits, and it's kind of responses. They're trying to just get something, but the lane they were actually supposed to kind of play around the bot lane, well, that's the lane that suffered the most. And that's why winning this game now for Misfits is so difficult, because you actually rely a lot on Fnatic really slowing down.
It's so hard because Fnatic continue to shift up what they want to do. Games 1, Game 2 was kind of about playing towards topside, setting SOAS up for success. But Game 3, all about the bottom lane once again, and it feels like Misfits just don't know how to adapt.
Yeah, and the one constant is this cannon pick on Reckless is working out. Whether it's early pick, early stages of the game later on. I love this combination here, the surprise roam from a Nami, who then has really big influence over the wall with the wave Q combo, is fantastic, but then you can't take this path. Look at Jesus and Broxa really playing the situation well, and the utility and the CC that a Cannon AD carry brings is really paying off here.
SOAS is dead.
Oh.
Which is...
happens.
A fairly standard play as well from our good friend up in the top lane. Tends to have one of these moments where he will overextend quite a lot.
Test the limits.
Testing limits. He got a lot of damage on his top tower. Obviously what Fnatic is doing here is not lane swapping because they know Nara will take tower 1v1, so they just keep SOAS sitting up there. That's also what Misfits knew, and that's why they respond to top.
And they know that if Misfits rotate, they will just be faster on the bottom lane play because they already had the push going here, so they can take a tier 2 for tier 1.
Plus they have the power of the Elise, such a strong champion when it comes to pushing those towers. Misfits going to do their best to get something back, but already Fnatic setting the pace for this game, and Power, if he goes down here, this will be disastrous for the team.
Caps does not need to kill him, he just needs to get him away from the turret, so when the next wave crashes, or when Fnatic proxy this one, this turret's under pressure. You don't always have to kill people to send them back to base. If they just have to base in itself, it's enough to siege turrets.
The one small positive for Misfits here is they got this top lane tower, but sadly for them, they're losing in the bot lane, they're losing in the mid lane as well.
Yeah, 2 for 1.
And it really feels like right now Misfits are starting to bleed out because Fnatic continue to dictate to them what is going to happen. They continue to react, continue to be on the back foot, and now SOAS is in the top lane, and he is set up to take that lane if no one contests it.
Someone might try and go up and defend it, but that simply means Fnatic can go back to base, get the items, return to lane. Oh, SOAS might set up a trap.
No. Oh, he learned. He was playing passive. I was so proud of SOAS, you know, 10% on the turret, you can walk up, you can kill it, but you know they're missing. So he steps away.
I would have gone for it again.
He could have gone for 2v1.
He could have tried.
You're on stage. Your team is winning.
Just teleport to get out.
Yeah, that's why you go for the 2v1. Let's see. So it's probably Alfaro just knocking back. Then he gets kicked back. Okay.
He got tossed around right there.
Misfits helped him overextend right there.
He makes it out for a brief moment. So I was just like, I'm free. They can't chase me. And there's Han Sama standing right there.
Yeah, really good bounce there by SOAS.
Ooh, look at bot lane and mid lane here because Fnatic pushing 2 lanes at the same time while Misfits are trying to trade for top lane tower.
Power. Flash over the wall comes in from Jesus. There's Reckless with the backup damage. Power is now in trouble. Tries to make it out. The wild growth, not enough, and Reckless gets another kill.
Yeah, really good pathing between these lanes. There's no tier 2 turret available, which means they can push really deep on that bot side and really facilitate the push on the mid lane turret too. Misfits, they're trying to catch on here, but this is such a great spot for Fnatic to be in.
Oh, SOAS, that's the 1v3. He's just doing it to try and defend here.
Tidal wave comes in. SOAS going to get chain CC'd here. Tower does go down. SOAS set to fall. Misfits grab the tower as well, but what can Fnatic get in return?
Let's see if they can actually get the inhib tower here. They didn't kill it yet. There's no minions for at least another 10 seconds in that bottom lane. They get mid tower though.
And it's so big for Fnatic because now they can push even further in the mid lane. They get even more mid lane priority, which means the closer to the base that Misfits have to catch their waves, the more distance Fnatic can travel and set up vision baits. They can make picks in brushes, and that's where their composition really thrives. If you can hide in Elise, hide in Cannon, hide in LeBlanc anywhere unseen, that's so much pressure.
Terrible spot to be.
Always get an Infernal Drake as well, which is really good here for Misfits. And that's the thing, like you just mentioned here, Mitch, before, with pushing these lanes deeper inside enemy territory, always gives you so many paths you can just move. And Kai's trying to big play here.
Caps needs to figure out a path out of this one. Oh! No, he fumbles. That's not what you need on a big stage. Bit of a miscommunication, and that's exactly what Misfits want.
The first player to juke Broxa this entire series is actually his teammate, Caps.
Ooh, so kill Van Sama here, and Misfits buying some time. That's so important because, as we were about to say before, when these waves gets pushed in towards that inhib, like you can move into the enemy jungle in so many different ways. You can just get so much vision through minions, first of all, but also the very deep vision. TP in from Source with Mechanar, will TP in from LeBlanc. Suddenly, you get caught.
And remember, the more time they can buy sets Han Sama up for success. He's halfway to his second item. Once he starts getting to third and fourth, maybe.
We're waiting.
And everything you do, right? At this point, a kill is not about finding a lead. It's about buying time. Although as the gold is so close, maybe Misfits can get something back.
So this is Cavs missing the chain on the Ignar. He would have been dead right there if that connected.
Oh,
Flash is late.
That's the key one. He's going to hate himself for that one, and this one too.
Ooh, no, Broxah was in position.
Whoops.
knows?
Whoops.
It's all good, guys. He's all right. Moving for more. Caps continues to clear out the waves. Once again, Misfits buy a little bit of time, but Fnatic still dominate this map for now. They have the winning matchups. Soaz now committed to the bottom side, Reckless on the top.
Yeah, they keep moving Soaz actually away and put him on the long lane. They have Reckless Siege with the support. This is honestly signature Fnatic style 1-1-3. Despite LeBlanc being a really good side lane player, despite LeBlanc really thriving on a side lane with teleport, it is not the right formation for her to be in this game.
It's just you can't put the cannon mid. Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's too slow.
Yeah, his wave play is not good enough. He's not really able to defend, and he wants to obviously skirmish. He wants to fight 1v1, 2v2 all the time, and that's why you have to put him side lane. And it's also just a reckless playstyle with this Fnatic team.
And Fnatic playing it right there. They pushed up, but they don't go for the siege. The first thing they need to access that tier 2 turret
trap
is vision, and that's exactly what they're doing right here. They're challenging vision in the enemy jungle first, so that then later they can go 4-1 or 3-1-1 topside.
But the reason Misfits are actually allowed to sit here and defend and challenge this vision is because the lanes are not being pushed in by Fnatic. Mid lane is the most important one, and they just pushed it now. So now you can see Ansama needs to go in and defend it. If you're Fnatic, you can push it even further with multiple members. Have Ansama sit at that inhib tower, and then you have free access of the enemy jungle.
But the problem for that to work, they need to bring Soaz into the fold. Either have him keep Alfari on lockdown, because otherwise if Alfari suddenly shows up, it's much easier for Misfits to group up and be faster in changing lanes. Like, the distance that Soaz has to travel from bot to top, compared to that what Alfari has to do, it's much easier on this smaller map near your base.
And Soaz not necessarily set up to teamfight at this point, has opted for the Bilgewater Cutlass, maybe a Blade of the Rune King, maybe an aggressive side lane build, but it's not a tanky Gnar that's going to help out in a teamfight.
I personally missed the Hurricane Gnar from Wicked.
I'm so sad that in Catch On, like, he was so convinced. That was the build. Korean top laners would start building it. They all forgot to build it, sadly. We got Kennen, though, with Hurricane top lane. So I guess close enough. Yordle, almost there.
We'll give it to him.
I'll take it. Wrong champ, right build.
Now, again, so with Fnatic here, at this point, when you want to set up Baron, you don't actually have to play all 3 lanes. You can just pick 2 lanes. Push up bot lane, push up mid, and then start getting some vision down. They're starting the Baron here. No reaction from Misfits, except for Kakao.
Kakao can technically steal it. That's why it's still a risky play. It's not necessarily 50-50, but he was going around the other side. And that's a clean Baron from Fnatic. They just sneak it.
Ping goes down. That means it's their cue to take that away. Baron drops from Fnatic, and this could be the big break point on the side of Misfits. Baron has been just so effective on the side of Fnatic when it comes to breaking the base.
And this is something that we have been complaining about the Misfits about. Is just when they fall behind, they never seem to really want to pull the trigger to get the fight that gets them back into the game, and they lose slowly. They just lose control of the game. They buy into the whole scaling from the Caitlyn, but is giving a Baron away uncontested really the right play here?
It's obviously never really the right play unless you are at the point in the game where if you lose their like one member, then they can just finish the game, which is not this case here because we're 24 minutes in. So Misfits had a chance to try and fight their way out, but I think overall they're down now 2-0 in games. They're down in the 3rd game as well. Like, it gets pretty much impossible for Misfits when it comes to really bouncing back also mentally, because they are still such a new team.
Yeah, and they're also playing against such a suffocating Fnatic this game. The pressure, every time they went in for a good trade or they thought they were okay, Broxah showed up and he was really showing that he can also play Elise. He's actually not an Ivern one-trick. Surprise, surprise. Soaz has been dominating top lane, and every time Misfits get a kill, it doesn't lead too much. So it really makes it harder.
How confident can you be to make a call? You call, hey, we're going to get this tower. Fnatic takes 2 in exchange. Hey, we're going to try to make a pick. Fnatic makes 2 back. And as all of your calls start to go wrong, how confident can you be to pull a trigger, to go up into Fnatic, a team you've already lost team fights to?
Yep, it is super, super difficult, and it's where you just rely on individual playmakers, like Kakao as an example. But he can't obviously do it on his own. Alfari, he's been stuck in the side lane all game long, been pushed to his tower. He's actually not even entered the game at any moment, and he's not really going to be able to unless we get like this TP play from him.
He is a victim of false advertising. He sees the Gragas, he's like, well, what a great pick. Can engage for my team, can flank, can set up picks.
Very true.
You know what? I'm going to get super tank. I'm going to play it. Get stuck on the side lane.
Yeah, we wanted to see that Gragas from him. We were like, take it away from him, so it's going to be great.
Where did it bring him? All right. Trap wall here, obviously one of the perks of Caitlyn. She can defend sieges.
There's a hole in the wall, however, so Broxah will continue to keep going.
The one Urukai with the bomb.
Made it through.
Yeah, I like how we can Fnatic is pushing all 3 lanes, setting it up. Trying to kill that one guy who's trying to get in.
And already a tower down and inhibitor exposed. And if Soaz can take this, it'll make it so much easier to get the rest.
And this is where we can also describe like how beautiful it is, you know. It's just counting dots. You see Fnatic, they're now strong on top side, so Misfits is trying to catch. They just a little bit damage on the turret, then they back up. Now Misfits strong on the top side.
There we go. Now
actually.
leaping forward. Out comes the Alpha Reckless. He's trying to stay alive. Who is going to go down first? No one quite yet. Hansama holding on is the important member to watch.
That was the play we were looking for from Kakao. Sadly for him, the 1 damage dealer is just
flash it. Soaz trying to start the fight. Ignar is locked up. Alphari, they're moving. They're trying to get more, but Kakao, he's going to get taken down.
Hansama is untouched though and could maybe clean up this team fight.
Maybe looking for a bit more. Soaz running forward, trying to juke, trying to jive, trying to take down Alphari. Body slam going to go wide. Soaz gonna get the outplay in the end. Alphari oversteps, and Fnatic, they just set their sights on the structures.
They will get down. Slowly they'll get this inhib down. There we go, they take it. Hansama was set up to carry, but just not farmed enough on this Caitlyn here. Not completed 3 items yet, and again, that's the problem when you do fall behind early.
And the final inhibitor. It looked somewhat okay for the Misfits on that play, but Fnatic, they were dancing around beautifully. Every time Misfits went top, they stopped pushing top and pushed bottom instead. Then Misfits had to put out the fire somewhere else, and they just had few firemen for all the burning that Fnatic was causing right there. Beautiful orchestrated split push, and that has to feel so satisfying on a single Nasher to play 1-3-1 and get 3 inhibs.
27 minutes in, 10K gold lead for Fnatic. They've got a Mountain, they've got an Inferno, they got this fight as well. Everything is going well for them.
Do lose Caps in this one, but it's kind of been the story of this game here. Caps will end up losing his life, and then the team will get something in return.
Big fan of Soaz here in this play, really kiting near the wall.
Love it.
He acted as if he had no gap closer.
He knew the limits of Gragas.
Yeah.
In and out. Like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you can do right now. 73 damage from Power Weaver in that fight.
It's because he didn't build Nasher too.
He's committing to the support, and I gotta respect that. If you play Lulu mid, you're a support.
You step into that role. You take a vow of, not of silence, but just...
I mean, he went Ardent Sense as well, so it is just purely buff Hansama. Now, okay, the good thing when you lose 3 inhibs is you can farm all the lanes with multiple super minions.
Keep telling yourself that.
The bad thing when you lose 3 inhibs is the enemy team can push in with all the super minions and probably just kill all of you and take your nexus.
How long can Misfits hold on? Is there any shot left for them?
Farming right there. Great camera.
Can Hansama get the last item? Can Power of Evil play well enough in the team fight to keep him alive, to keep the team together?
Find out on the next episode. Cutting out. No. Fnatic looking for the push here, making it clean 3-0. 3rd place is on the line. Championship points. Redemption for their organization. Also cleaning up their season. Hansama goes low.
Very much in trouble. Have to be careful. Soaz is running forward. Alphari's going to get locked up. Looks like he will get taken out. Kakao trying to make a play. Kicks Soaz back. But Soaz! He's just going to turn it right back on them Misfits. They're falling apart, and that is disaster. One final kick from Kakao to close it out. It's quick. It's clean. It's confident. It's going to be the 3-0 for Fnatic. And with that final win, they are going to lock in 3rd place here in the LCS and take the first step on their path to Worlds.
And this still saves the season a bit for Fnatic. They struggled so far, barely not even making it into playoffs, and they can still end on a high, which is really important for them.
Yeah, I think a lot of respect to the players for bouncing back after such a tough regular season where they were 1 game away from making playoffs. They find this playstyle, it clicks, it works, every single player is just on the same page, and they execute it so well. And that's why they take a 3-0. That's why they were the best team on the stage today.
Yeah, they also highlight some crucial flaws in the Misfits.
But I think flaws that we can accept. Again, Misfits, new organization, new team coming in. Crouching as well for.
And once again, for the Misfits, it wasn't always about Spring. Their eyes are set on Worlds. They've made good progress in this split, but they've proven that there's a lot that they need to work on. And on the other side, for Fnatic, a team that struggled so much, now showing up today. And that, I mean, you're right. It's not, at the end of the day, it is not the title, but it has to feel good to know that you are still a contender, that you are still at the top of Europe when it comes to teams we look at.
And for the Fnatic organization, they finally found 2 new pieces of talent. Caps, we knew from the start there was a lot of potential in there. Broxah, we doubted it. We said, you know, I don't think he can be much more than he is right now. And he's definitely been scaling up a lot.
Yeah, seemed like a band-aid in the start, but then actually turned out to be a very important player for this team and had a fantastic performance today in all 3 games, honestly. So well played by Broxah there. And overall, yes, getting these championship points for Fnatic, an organization we expect to fight for top 6 next split as well. And with how close it is right now in Europe, so many teams are very close to each other in terms of overall level. Those points can be so important when it comes to actually locking down the world's spot.
Could be everything. We have 2 new teams coming into the LCS next season as well. So all important to get an edge, to get a lead now, to keep performing, to keep looking good. The crowd supporting him. Caps consistently with a grin on his face. Broxa as well. It's a good look for the team. PoE taking his bow to the German crowd.
Yeah, it has to feel bad. You can obviously come in here with dreams and hopes of performing. But still, they can take home some lessons.
Yeah, it might feel bad right now, but if you're Power of Evil, you look back at this entire split, and it's actually been a good one for him.
Look where he came from as well. Like, he struggled for a year in Origin. Now he still got the chance to get to Hamburg, play in front of his fans. So many people here supporting him.
That's the thing, from going, you know, to relegation with Origin to now being on the big stage with the German flag.
He's smiling a tiny bit. It's hard to keep that stern, sad face sometimes when people are cheering for you.
So overall, very good split from him. A lot of respect from fellow mid laners as well in Europe, and overall for Misfits. They're this kind of organization that will be here for a long time. They have the infrastructure in place, passionate owner. Same thing for Fnatic, honestly, and they've been here for many years, and it's great to see them now getting that 3rd place win as well.
And after so many years of struggling in playoffs, or not years, so many splits, when Huni and Reignover left, it felt like we would never see Fnatic on top again after all the failures, but here they are, 3rd place, an excellent start on a climb back to the top.
They missed the last event, they weren't even there. So in that sense, it has been progression, and you can't expect an org that has been struggling to just immediately jump back to the top, and I think this is a good springboard if they can continue the progression. That is what they need to work on.
Yeah, I want to see the next evolution of the Fnatic playstyle. If there's a next step, or if it's changing it completely, can they maybe completely perfect it? They got the individual talent on the lineup. I don't think anyone really questioned that coming into the split.
I mean, they changed the talent on the lineup.
Okay, one guy.
Made a big difference. I don't know if you saw those 2 Ivern games, but...
The 4 other guys have been doing well.
I mean,
they changed one guy, yes.
And they changed one guy, yes.
And Broxa was incredibly important over the course of that series. The Ivern games, we were wondering, hey, is he going to have a new champion under his pool? We saw the Kazakhs come out. It didn't look great for him, but the Ivern was clutch. And despite being disrupted, despite Kakao breathing down his neck at every opportunity he found in the jungle, he still made an impact.
Definitely made an impact, and I think that's, again, really cool because we got to see some different playstyles from Fnatic. Like, it wasn't just pure early game chaos. It wasn't just
they played on
fight
topside
everywhere.
too.
Yeah, it was topside all of a sudden. It was actually team fights, you know, with that Ivern specifically, protect Reckless in some of these fights. So we got different things, which made it very interesting. Just wish we had seen more from Misfits, because I really feel like they could have offered more, but game 1 was really also plagued with like nerves from them.
Yeah, I think we saw a mental hit to the Misfits, and in that sense, what they do take home here is stage experience. Same for Fnatic, like Reckless and so as. It's not that they don't care, you know, like they enjoy the environment. They're used to it. They've done their rodeos, but for Broxa and Caps, an entirely new environment. I mean, it changes you a little bit, man. Just being on the stage, it's one of the better experiences, and it's really great that they can take it home and actually learn in a controlled environment. Getting your first stage experience on the big one for 3-0 is actually really important.
Yeah, didn't even get to see, hey, are they going to be challenged mentally? Because it looked good from them from the start, and it just kept looking good.
Although Caps probably did play, actually, before, right, on bigger stages.
Yeah,
in Turkey, he obviously got to play in the final as well, so there was some experience.
Yeah.
Step up going into the LCS, something he talked about as well. Like, he's still very young, his first split here, so that's why he's one of the rookies. And we had a lot of good rookies coming into this, like Misfits, Alfari and Samar. 2 very interesting guys to look at. Ignor had some experience from LCK. Kakao obviously had a lot of experience from LCK. So those guys could bring something to the team. But the new young guys in Alfari and Samar, overall, very good splits as well in terms of your first season. And I think it's only going to go up for those 2 guys.
Yeah, they definitely have the potential right there. It's also really good to see the resurgence of Kakao, that he didn't rot away in a LSPL.
In the LSPL.
It was a struggle there for a little bit.
We take Kakao and we put Bengi there now.
Yeah, he goes down.
He takes the place.
Everyone's got to fall at some point. Kakao potentially on the way back up.
Crowd is going nuts because right now Quickshot is getting ready.
Yeah, and they love
for
Quickshot.
the winners interview, and it's Quickshot they're cheering for with the French flag as well. Not Soas, of course.
Definitely not.
All right, well, Fnatic have ended their series with a dominant 3-0 over Misfits. For more, it's Quickshot standing by with one of our winners.
Thank you very much, guys. Congratulations, Soaz. What do you have to say to the SOAS Appreciation Club in the corner?
There's just insane French people in the crowd.
What does it mean to you to have this whole crowd behind Fnatic and that whole section behind you?
Well, it just feels good in both good and bad times. So it feels really nice to have people supporting us and me.
What's it like when you have a sixth man? The sixth man being several thousand Hamburg fans screaming Fnatic in what was an easy 3-0.
I guess it depends. It depends for like which players. So some players they like to have the crowd with them. Some players they don't. But I guess it's just about preferences. But for me, I like it. It's okay. It's fine.
How was the series so easy? It looked clean. It didn't look like you guys were really pressured today.
I don't think it was that easy, but I don't feel like we just like our playstyle is just YOLO really, and for them it didn't feel like they matched really well or they had so much synergy. First and second game, it's not like we forced too many fights, but they just didn't react properly, or they were lost. I feel like.
Yeah, it looked that way as well, you know, to me as an observer. And so as you've taken third, 3-0, if we step back and we look at the whole split, knowing you've played in Hamburg, knowing you've won today, what do you feel when you think about the spring split?
Well, I think it's a bit sad for us because I feel like if we would have faced Unicorn, we would have beat them as well. So I would have hoped for a final against G2, but sadly it's not possible. But looking back, it's good. Like we didn't expect, like we had a good expectation coming, like starting the split. Then it went a bit down, and then we went back up. So it just the roller coaster, you know.
Definitely a roller coaster. Fnatic fans have been up and down for a while now. Returning to Fnatic after, you know, a few splits apart, let's talk about what happens next. You know, where does SOAS and Fnatic look to the postseason into summer?
Well, we'll see how we attack summer splits. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of changes in terms of like, oh, we practice and everything on this. So hopefully we have a better early summer split and we just keep going strong.
Well, definitely going to help out. So as one last question before we move on, is there anything that you have to say to either the fans at home or the fans here in the venue?
Merci à tous les Français qui sont là dans le public et thanks to everyone for supporting us, me and Fnatic.
Congratulations, well played, taking third place. That does it with me and SOAS. We're going to head over to the analyst desk and post-game lobby.
Thank you very much, Quickshot, and welcome to the post-game lobby, live from the Barclaycard Arena here in Hamburg. And joining us here at the desk is one of tonight's winners, Fnatic's mid laner, Cap. So congratulations to you personally as well.
Thank you.
Great stuff there. We heard a lot from SOAS already. What did it come down to you?
I think we have our own style, and I think Misfits haven't played against it before. I think it's kind of the same as what happened to H2K, and even though we weren't able to beat G2, it was kind of what we showed there as well.
Do you agree with SOAS' sentiment? He said if we would have faced Unicorns of Love, we would have beaten them as well. So is it only G2 that can counter the animal style?
I think, I mean, it kind of depends, right? Because some days you have bad days, some days you have good days. But I think on a normal day, we should be able to beat the Unicorns, yeah.
All right, well, if we look back at the series as a whole, Fnatic just secured third place in the EU LCS Spring Split, a 3-0 sweep over Misfits. And as we look at the series holistically, Trashy, you had a lot of good things to say about Broxah for all 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, he played fantastic all the games, and I feel like the first 2 games he was really carrying in the team fights with Ivern, with the Redemption, with the Locket Shields, and really setting up his carries for success. Like we saw a guy like Reckless popping off in fights because he could survive. I know we don't like the
yeah, we do. Popping off. He popped off.
He was definitely popping off. So yeah, fantastic play by him and really setting his team up for success.
And for me, one of the big players, one of the standout performances really was SOAS. I feel that his Gragas performances in game 1 and 2 especially were so integral in enabling Fnatic to win a lot of these mid-game fights. And the fact that they drafted compositions that just seem to work so well together demonstrated that Fnatic, they didn't only have this one style of play, but they were able to adapt and grow throughout the playoffs.
That they did. Caps, how do you look back on your personal performance versus Power of Evil? We heard beforehand that you had told Trashy that you were gonna win quite easily.
I mean, I think mid lane is because this series was kind of boring for me at least. I was playing against Lulu and I had Ivan on my team, so there was really no action. I think personally I made a lot of misplays, and maybe it was because I got a bit bored, and I want to see high plays. I want to see insane outplays, and instead we just had like shields on both teams, and it was a bit boring. Yeah.
That's a bit boring, but sometimes that is what the team needs, and sometimes what the team needs is an Ivern or an Elise. And Broxa is our player of the series, and of course he stepped up here, and I just want to talk to you guys about the different elements of Fnatic that we're looking at going forward, and the fact that Broxa just kind of was thrown into the lineup, so to say, when you guys were going through some troubles, and was able to learn. How much do you see him improving in the future, Trashy?
I mean, I feel like Fnatic just found their style in the playoffs, and he as a player adapted to the style and played around it. Like, he has been really playing a lot around the bot lane and enabling them. And
what is Caps giggling about?
No, it's just I love when people say we have found our style.
No, like, props to him for adapting to the style Fnatic is putting out in the playoffs. That's what I have.
Does it annoy you that we keep referring to Fnatic as obviously, oh, this one style that works?
No,
this and that? No, it
I mean, not at all. It's just funny, you know.
Okay, it's just funny, but
one of the things that I'd love to ask Caps about, because there was this great interview that you did towards the end of the split where you said, like, we're done trying to play the perfect game. We're just going to play our game. We're going to play comfort. Is that really where things clicked for you? Is that where you just as a team started to synergize more and find more success?
I mean, I'm not sure if we were like when we stopped like playing to play the perfect game, we just like kind of played. I'm not sure we were like, oh, now we're gonna have our own style and now we're gonna win against everyone and everything's gonna be good. I think we were kind of sad about not being able to reach the perfect play, and instead we just kind of went for comfort picks. Turned out that it was really good, and then we just continue with it.
Yeah, third place. We'll talk a bit more about your split in review in just a second, but for now, Quickshot is standing by with Power of Evil.
Thank you very much, Sharks. Yes, I am joined by Power of Evil in front of this Hamburg crowd. First of all, I want to thank you for talking to us. It was a tough series. What went wrong today, Pierre?
I think the first game was the most important one for us, since I think in our team the biggest thing is like experience that is a little bit missing. So I think the first win was the most important one, since it gave us kind of this self-confidence in the team. So after losing that one and the second one, it was really hard, I think, to pick ourselves up. I think we didn't play risky enough in the third game, and we just, I think Fnatic was just a better team, so they deserved the win, we need to be honest.
It takes a lot of courage and sportsmanship to admit that, but it's been a disappointing playoffs. The semi-finals and now today. What was some of the reasons why the squad couldn't perform in the best of fives when really you were looking quite good throughout most of the split?
I think we just, as I said, I think we just don't play aggressive enough sometimes. We don't really take risks. We are pretty much just playing for the macro game, and sometimes it's just like something it happens what we don't expect, some random surprise, and we don't know how to react to it. And that's why I think we had the biggest chance actually against G2, because they have kind of the same playstyle as we do, but we had the worst against teams like Fnatic or UL, because they're like completely countering our playstyle and they kind of always catches us off guard.
Let's talk about the team a little bit, because 2016 for Power of Evil was an interesting year. Started 2017 on a good note, moving to Misfits, the squad seems good. So how has the spring split been for you when you look at the big picture?
Well, I'm really happy about all the feedback I get from the community and from just the team and our results. Obviously, in the end, a little bit disappointing, but I think if you just stick together, we're going to perform better in summer split, since we're just you just need to build up synergy. So for me personally, I feel quite happy, but yeah, we just need to be stronger for Summer Split, since my ultimate goal is to go to Worlds.
I've heard this one-year plan, Misfits going to make it to Worlds. So let's look forward. It's now going into off-season. You guys have a little bit of time. How does Misfits and the rest of the squad get to Worlds and have a better performance in Summer Split?
I think we need to just scrim more, practice more, try to take more risks, try to like learn more play styles, learn more, I guess, maybe deeper champion pools as well, so we can make better drafts. And I think it's just in general all the normal casual stuff.
You make it sound so easy, just these all these different things. Power of Evil, thank you very much. You know, it is fourth. You still ended up placing here in Hamburg. One last question. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the local crowd, maybe in your mother tongue?
Also, nochmal an alle Leute, die hier sind. Vielen, vielen Dank für den Support. Also, ich habe keine Worte. Das ist echt unglaublich. Also, schon das ganze Jahr kriege ich diesen Support von der deutschen Community und ich wollte mich echt nochmal bedanken an alle. Also, das ist echt unglaublich und vielen, vielen lieben Dank.
Thank you very much, Power of Evil. Looking forward to seeing you in the Summer Split.
Looking forward to it.
With that, we're going to head back to the analyst desk to wrap up post-game lobby.
Thank you very much, Trevor. Power of Evil there with a big thank you to the German community that have supported him for all of these years already as he's building up a fantastic career, Power of Evil, even in what wasn't the best playoffs for them. And I also think his voice was actually quite carrying, quite heavy for the arena. Maybe there's a future in analyzing and shoutcasting when it all dies down. I was impressed by that.
I
he
think
commanded the room.
We should be impressed with Power of Evil Split. The fact that he was able to bounce back from his 2016 performance into what was an uprising Misfits. Power of Evil, as he rightly said, should be pleased with how things have gone so far.
He should be. And speaking there about what they should improve on, he said, well, everything. Macro, risk-taking, drafting, scrimming more. So it seems pretty straightforward.
I just want to point out, like, as a guy, you know, as a person, it looks like he really have grown a lot. Like I remember in the past when I was playing against him in the Challenger Series, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, he was like a shy guy, not really very commanding guy. But now you can see he's a confident guy, and it's really good for him.
Yeah, he's grown a lot. He got to play here in front of the home crowd. Fourth in the end because Fnatic, they took third. So Caps, I have to go to you as well because you were not quite at the very beginning of your career, but definitely at the start of your EU LCS career. So how do you look back on the spring split for Caps?
I mean, I don't want to say it was disappointing, but in a way it kind of was, because we weren't able to reach the goal we actually wanted with the long-term goal, and we weren't able to keep like the steady improvement. But instead we went to a different style, and I mean, it worked for now. I'm not sure what we're going to do after the split. I'm not sure if we're going to stay with this. I mean, yeah, we'll see.
I mean, Soaz was subtly pointing out there that things would be changing in terms of maybe the way that was practiced, and I can only imagine that the end of the split was probably tricky because you had Finlay stepping in who doesn't have particular coach experience, right? So that is definitely something you guys can build on. So what else are we looking towards for Fnatic? I mean, they have to be happy with a third-place finish in the end. And
I'm looking forward to this guy,
okay.
Mr. Baby Faker over here. This guy, he came off the split getting 2 solo kills down onto Perks. Everyone was super impressed with his performance. And now with the split of experience under his belt, I can only imagine playing here in the arena must have been extremely valuable for you in terms of growing as an individual.
Yeah, I think it's kind of weird because it almost feels better to play in an arena. You feel like there's less pressure, actually. Just because when, I'm not sure, I feel like when there's so many people, it just feels completely different and it feels a lot nicer.
The sign of a true champion, it just gets riled up. Because I guess in the other studio you can like see the exact faces of the people. Oh, that guy's looking at me, that guy's looking at me. I'm so stressed. And here it's a mass of people.
I think an important point for Fnatic is like they need to figure out like, do we continue with the style it's been working? Can we win EU with this? Like, what is the goal? Like, do we want EU? Do we want to challenge international competition? If you want to challenge international competition, generally, this kind of style hasn't been working as well, and we have also seen a team like G2 that can adapt to it, take it down. So,
do you think they should change it? Is it just a band-aid? How do you know?
I think it really depends on what is your goal. Like in EU, we have seen a team like UL who, in the beginning, played the style very effectively, but is now trying to like adapt it to their own macro style and kind of become better in that sense. So it really just depends on Fnatic as a team what they want to do.
All right, well, we will see what happens. In any case, they have some championship points. They racked up 50 to be exact, and 30 then for the side of the Misfits, and that will play a huge role going forward into the goal, which is for every single team, is getting to that World Championship. They get a buffer at least with that 3rd place finish, and a good thing to work on. How was it with you playing with the veterans? We always say that it has an influence, but when you got to this arena, Soaz was saying it, oh, it's fine. The big crowd, it's more, and you also say that it seems to be relaxing you in some way. So how did someone like Reckless help out? He again stepped up immensely here today.
I think everyone on the team were kind of calm, even when we started winning. So, like some of the games we were like, maybe getting a bit crowd up because we wanted the KDA, you know, in the end. But some players and other players on the team were like trying to calm us down and say, relax, we have to win first before we can care about our KDA.
All right, well, we will see what happens in summer for both the Misfits and for Fnatic. But now we're going to look forward to tomorrow, where we have the final on our hands. The Unicorns of Love up versus G2. And Soaz had some fighting words there. We would have beaten the Unicorns of Love. It seems to me that the Unicorns of Love are going in as a bit of an underdog, but they shouldn't be undersold.
No, I think that the Unicorns have been refining their star for quite a while. They have the MVP on their lineup as well, and he really will be the star player for me when watching. Chachi has had a fantastic split, and going up against Expect, I'm hoping that Unicorns give him a favorable matchup in order for him to flourish.
I mean, my concern for you is that in the semi-final, G2 showed that they can take down a team like Fnatic that play a bit forward sometimes, maybe taking a lot of risk. And in a best of 5, that really matters. And G2 have shown they can adapt. So I'm giving it to G2, but I hope it's going to be a fun series.
Yeah, we hope that it's going to be 5 games. Caps, how do you think it's going to play out?
I think on a normal day, G2 would take it 3-0, clean game. But then again, everything can happen on the big stage, you know. Yeah. And we never know if Unicorns are going to feel the crowd and go Super Saiyan.
Oh, they will definitely have a lot of support as well, G2. How will Perks do up against the crowd favorite Exile?
I think it's kind of the same as G2. I think Perks should be favored in the matchup, but you never know.
Okay, it can go either way according to the panel. Well, not either way. You're definitely rooting for G2. And
I'm rooting for G2.
Not rooting,
I just think that the Unicorns have a really good shot.
I want to root for you all then.
We're not rooting for anyone. We're perfectly unbiased. But we're just rooting for 5 games in Silver Scrapes. And we're also starting the party early tomorrow with a 30-minute pre-game show that is from 4:30 p.m. Central European Summertime. Don't be late as we count down to the final fight. I'm excited for that. Thank you very much for joining us today. I'll see you guys tomorrow as well. And Caps, thank you for joining us and congrats.
Thanks.
All right, well, Caps can finally relax and, well, watch the final relax here from the arena tomorrow, as we will with all of you. And that will do from us here at the Barclaycard Arena in Hamburg. Thank you, Dankeschön, and join us tomorrow for the final between G2 and the Unicorns of Love with a championship on the line. The stage is set for a great series. Have a good night. Tschüssi.
Moin, moin.
Kakao is here again. Jez's no summoners.
Definitely caught out. Kakao just going to walk this one down, pick it up. Nice kill for Misfits.
He's coming, he's coming, he's coming.
Nice.
Nice mate. Really nice mate.
There's too many shields. He's still alive. He's still up. He's still okay. Reckless lives. He won't die. Down goes the LeBlanc. So many people dropping in the face of Reckless, and that's the triple.
Unkillable Demon King.
It's going to be Fnatic who make their mark on the opposition, and Misfits who fall down as Soaz has a bit of fun with it, and the game closes. Root Caller's going to connect. Caps is just going to walk forward. The chains, they're going to bring it home. Power Beagle wants to get something back, but the Ignite burns, or the exhaust rather, takes him down. He's not having it, but another hook from Jesus! He goes over the wall. Reckless is popping off. He's going for more. Keeps dishing out the damage. Fnatic are more than happy to reap the benefits, more than happy to take the kills, and more than happy to take the game 2 here against Misfits.
I think at this point, I think the Misfits know.
No, that's forward. No, that's not what they needed. Misfits, they're falling apart.
Kakao trying to big play here.
Caps needs to figure out a path out of this one. No, he fumbles. That's not what you need on a big stage. Bit of a miscommunication.
From Kakao, sadly for him, the one damage deal is just
Flash in, Soaz trying to start the fight. Ignore is locked up. Alfari, they're moving. They're trying to get more, but Kakao, he's going to get taken down. Will get taken out. Kakao trying to make a play. Kicks Soaz back, but Soaz, he's just going to turn it right back on them Misfits. They're falling apart, and that is disaster. It's going to be the 3-0 for Fnatic, and with that final win, they are going to lock in 3rd place here in the LCS and take the first step on their path to Worlds.
Vielen, vielen lieben Dank.